Before you start your journey to financial independence, you need to really understand why you're doing it. You must have a strong why of FI. That's what I'm here to talk about today. I've never really talked about my motivation on my journey, so this will be mostly that. I'll also provide some tips for you to help you craft and fine-tune your why, so stick around until the end for that. Plus, I'm sure just hearing some of what inspires me to pursue FI will resonate with you and help you reflect as well. So, why do we need a strong why? Well, it's because pursuing FI takes a lot of time, energy, and sacrifices that will test your resolve throughout. If you're pursuing financial independence for the wrong reasons, you'll be more likely to give in or give up when the going gets tough. And it will. But this exercise is also important because it forces you to think critically about your goals and values in life more holistically, something I think more of us should do more often. Money is, of course, stressful and emotional. Keeping more of what you earn and striving for financial independence can reduce that stress. That's a pretty good why in and of itself, and it can also provide more choices. But I'm getting ahead of myself before I've even introduced myself. If we're just meeting, my name is Frankie. I put out videos twice a week on all things financial independence, early retirement, and even money mindset. Like if you like, subscribe if you love, and let's dive in. Now, my first 2 points here are going to be about jobs, since, work becomes optional when you reach FI. The first is that job security is an illusion. In my 14-year working career, I can't count the number of times I've been part of organizations that have had reductions. I've seen entire teams and departments get eliminated in an instant, which included people I considered friends, not just coworkers. I was laid off actually after 1 year in the classroom and was jobless until rehired for that job 3 days before the next school year started, but a brutal lesson to learn early on. Luckily, I haven't been laid off since, but the fact is, if you work for a company, you might have far less job security than you realize. And I don't mean to say any of this to scare you, but it's a harsh reality people don't consider until it happens to them. Businesses go out of business or need to make cuts, jobs become automated, businesses get purchased, and new leadership comes in and makes drastic changes. It happens all the time and in almost every industry. No amount of education or experience can guarantee you won't become unemployed by the end of your next workday. And I don't know where I recently read this, but I did write it down. It said, if you are an employee, the reality is you are constantly interviewing for your job. This is the truth for most people. Choosing FI means you're putting yourself in a position to not be dependent on a company or the success of a company to receive consistent income. It's why I often preach diversifying your income and side hustling with the focus on passive income. So rely more on yourself, and you can actually also earn exponentially more when you do so. It's what led me to entrepreneurship and being a content creator and author. I learned in doing so, I don't have one boss that could let me go. I have many viewers that tune in, or blog readers or book readers. So in a sense, I have many bosses. Yes, even you. This means the odds of getting fired from all of these bosses, are much lower. But the best boss of all is no boss once you reach FI. Now, to build on this, the next part of my why is a desire to leave the rat race, but not necessarily to retire, and not because I hate my job. Once you reach financial independence, you are no longer participating in the rat race. Now, I don't know again if I'm gonna retire from traditional work, but knowing I can leave the rat race is exciting as a why. But that's because I actually want to work for myself and make a difference. I want to help and serve others that have similar financial goals. It's the teacher in me, my first job I mentioned right out of college. But making videos like these is almost better because I can still teach, but reach even more people. Plus, I can teach finance, which they didn't teach us in school, and I don't have to deal with high school teenagers and all their emotions. The only downside, of course, is it's mostly a one-way conversation, so chat me up in the comments. But I have many creative interests that extend beyond YouTube. Like I said, I love writing, I love meeting with and helping people one-on-one, I love going on other people's podcasts, I even enjoy graphic design and even photography. The beauty with FI is it allows me to pursue opportunities that might have otherwise seemed high risk, even if they were also high reward. I can do the kinds of things I used to fantasize about. I had a whole notebook full of ideas and businesses that I knew could actually work, but I didn't have the funds or time to pursue any of them. A 9-to-5 can be mentally and physically draining, and your income potential is limited. Most people's lives revolve around the Monday through Friday grind and the commuting that might come with it. No thanks. I'd rather help others bet on myself and learn in the process. Speaking of, FI puts you in a position to help others, something I'm clearly passionate about. In life, first, you should absolutely aim to help yourself. Then, when possible, you should aim to help others. Pay it forward, so to speak, for all the people and resources that helped you on your journey. This has become extremely important to me in terms of my why of FI. I get genuinely excited to learn and share what I'm learning, share the things that are helping me and moving the needle financially and otherwise. If we want to live an extraordinary life, we need to serve and impact other people's lives in a positive way. As a part of this, I keep mentioning learning. That's because in trying to create and help others, I'm constantly learning new skills and growing, I would say, just as a person. I'm really high on this idea of finding a way to provide solutions to a select group of people's common problems. If you can learn to do that, you'll feel fulfilled. I talked all about this in my last video you should check out after this one. When I was living paycheck to paycheck and deep in debt, I found it hard to find opportunities to give back to my community or help others. And I found it hard to learn new skills or even try new hobbies, which is my next idea to share here. I simply want to have more fun in life, and I want more time to do so. All right, let's be honest here. Don't we all? Fun is fun, and more time in life in FI means you have more time to have fun. You can't buy happiness, of course, but you absolutely can buy fun experiences. You can travel, and I'd really like to do that often. I want to attend sporting events with kids in seats that don't make your noses bleed. I want to try new hobbies, even if they can be a little spendy. A guy can only play so much softball and fantasy football, and reading is certainly fun and free, but reading on a beach in Aruba with a cocktail is 10 times more fun, I'm sure. I want to have planned fun like travel, but also spontaneous fun. I want to spend money, or rather invest money, in my own happiness, doing things I enjoy and want to do and with who I want to do them with. Buying experiences over things is how I intend to invest in my happiness. Being financially independent means it's more possible to do more things you're passionate about, excited about, period. Yes, you can have fun with less, but it doesn't mean you have to until you're old and gray. Then of course there's the obvious that is actually probably reason number one of my why here. I want to have more time to spend raising a family. Being financially independent means you have more time, and what better time to spend that time than with a new family? I'll likely still work, but there are so many alternative work models now, like freelance, contract work, consulting, creating, royalties, and so on, that I know I'll be able to work a flexible schedule around my priorities like raising kids. Achieving FI means having control back in your life so you can direct your time and attention to those you care most about. And family would be at the top of that list, of course. Further though, beyond time, I want to be able to provide financial security for my children and future generations. At the very least, I want to set an example for them as well. I want to have a financial success story I'm proud of, a story I've documented here that they could watch someday. And honestly, that's what finally convinced me to hit record, was being able to share my story with a future generation. I want to have tons of financial literacy knowledge to pass on to them from a young age. They'll be the coolest kids in middle school if being cool means having a Roth IRA. Now let's talk about your why here for a minute. Now, first, it should be obvious by now, but hating your job or looking for a quick fix to happiness are not reasons to chase financial independence. It's about running to something, not running from something. If you're not sure about your why, think about what you'd do if all your expenses were covered. And I'm not talking about having extra income and just spending more money. What would you do with your time? That's a great exercise to work through and reflect on. Try to come up with a written why as well. Literally write about it like I did for this video today. Turn it into a mission statement. Keep that mission statement in sight and in mind. When you're first getting started with your why, a few key bullets will do. And actually my first attempt at this was in the beginning of my second book, Money You Can Hack It. It was just a few words: freedom, time, and education. Next, it's important to know your why can and likely will change and evolve over time. That's why it's critical you revisit your why every year or so. Hopefully it evolves and expands. Mine certainly did today, and I still wouldn't call it fully baked. But no matter what, if you take nothing away from this video but one thing, remember this: time is your most precious, non-renewable resource. FI allows you to get more time back. Time is on your side when you get on the FI path and stay on the path to financial independence. Okay, to wrap up, I'm gonna provide a quick summary of my why of FI here on screen. The first part is that job security is an illusion. Working for myself or not having to work is the best kind of security. Connected to that, I discussed my desire to leave the rat race so I can serve and help others with more time. Then I just opened up and was honest about wanting to have more fun in life with more time and money, things like traveling. Finally, I discussed wanting to be an awesome, available dad someday. Plus, I can pass on the financial lessons I've learned to my family at a young age. Time has certainly been a major theme of this video throughout, so in a sense, my why of FI is to become a master of my time. It is to be able to spend every single day doing what I want, when I want, with the people that matter most to me. FI doesn't solve all your problems, but it does make life much easier than if you're living paycheck to paycheck or underwater in debt. FI certainly isn't the only path to long-term happiness and more time, but it is a path, one that I believe in strongly and one I will continue to pursue. But the final key piece of my why is to live life without regrets. I never want to look back and regret wasting the best years of my life mentally and physically doing something I wasn't passionate about or feeling trapped. I'd rather live free and in the meantime, live inspired. Thank you as always for your time today. My name is Frankie. This is The Money Resolution. A like on this video would make my day and only take a second of your time. A subscribe though would make my week. Let me know in the comments about your why. What would it mean to you to become financially independent? I truly love hearing your stories and where you're at on your journeys. What inspires and motivates you to improve your financial life so that you can reach FI? Have an awesome week or weekend ahead, and I'll see you, friend, I hope, in a few days on the next one. Thanks. Good luck.